Uh, I was playing music. I mean, literally since I'm 3 years old. I mean, my parents have stories about me being at the piano. I think before I could walk, banging out stuff. But trying to make music, not just making noise, trying to make some music. But I remember I got started on the drums. I have a cousin who's very close to me, and she, well, I'll take it back one step. I watched the Monkees on television, the late reruns of the Monkees, and I was all turned on to the Monkees, and my cousin came to me and said, "No, no, no, not these guys." And she put a Beatles record in my hand. So that's kind of what got me started. And then I fell in love with the drums, and that's the earliest thing I can remember is getting turned on to Beatles music when I was 4 or 5 years old.
As we know, this so much of the music programs are getting cut in California, and so many of my friends turned out to be musicians. And I don't even know what our lives would be like if we didn't have music as a social kind of getting together. It's that you don't have to be a professional musician for it to be worthwhile. It teaches about coming together. It's kind of like sports in a little bit that you come together and you make music together, and it's something that brings everybody together and adds so much beauty to life that you can't get through math, that you can't get through just studying history and stuff. So it's really important. When I was in fifth grade, I was playing music all the time, but there was really nothing going on at this little Saratoga school that I went to, except for a lady would come in every 3 weeks and we'd play Waltzing Matilda, and I'm like, well, this is a drag. And our principal was really cool, Mr. Steinberg, and he said he saw that I played guitar, and he saw that all these young kids, in the 70s, like, these kids like music. We got to do something more. This guy was a real progressive, cool guy. He was the principal. And he came to my brother, who was a year older, and he said, you guys want to play some rock music? Should we get a teacher in here? And he just hired this guy named Mr. Taylor. He wasn't anything to do with normal, the music studies at any of the schools in the district. And he hired this guy, and he came in to sixth graders, and he said, let's play some Beatles songs. We'll learn, we learned My Sweet Lord, which is a George Harrison song. And they didn't have anybody. My brother said, he was just sixth graders. It was supposed to be a cool thing just for sixth. And my brother said, hey, my brother and his friend Lance play guitar. Can we get them in? So he brought the fifth graders in, and all of a sudden it was the coolest thing. And we got into the when the reed bands and the brass bands played, we were on the same stage and the same performance, and we played My Sweet Lord, and it was as if like nobody had ever done this in grade school back then, and they gave us a standing ovation, and we all just got goosebumps, and it was such an incredible feeling, and to think that the students today couldn't get that same opportunity to have that magic in their lives would be a shame.
Arts are important. It makes better human beings. People that are exposed to art and are tapped into that side of their personalities, even if you don't end up making a career out of it, it opens up your brain it changes the way you think. It allows you, it requires different kind of thinking than math and English, and it's accessing a part of your brain that allows you to think outside the box.
Albert Einstein said that studying music is more important than studying math.
Yeah, I mean, it's
For instance.
art is important, and music as an art form it's one of the most direct art forms there is. You hear it, you're affected by it. It's a great thing to be able to play an instrument, to be able to spend time by yourself, and to be able to do something creative. I think it's really important for kids to have the opportunity. Whether or not they take advantage of it, that's a different story. It's not for everyone, but I think the opportunity should be there for the arts, because we as a society should be interested in producing more well-rounded individuals. And it's not just about, reading, writing, and arithmetic are obviously very important, but this is a different part of your brain that needs to be opened up, and that's why it's important.